Sean Woodcock.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's a real privilege to have the opportunity to speak in this debate, particularly after so many powerful and profound interventions and speeches from across the House. I rise to share the testimony of a constituent who has endured an experience that affects many families, yet receives very little attention: hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, or H.I.E. Her son survived an H.I.E event during his birth. H.I.E is a brain injury caused by a lack of oxygen or blood flow, which can lead to developmental delays, intellectual and physical disabilities, and tragically, in 1 in 5 cases, death. Some of these complications can remain hidden until school age. My constituent had never heard of H.I.E at the time, and nor had I prior to her contacting me. But it is an all too common condition, affecting 3 to 4 out of every 1,000 births. In her son's case, it resulted in mild cerebral palsy. She was supported by a wonderful charity called Peeps, who highlight that families affected by H.I.E often feel that they don't belong in a baby loss space. Many of these families experience birth trauma, PTSD, and complicated grief. While charities like Peeps offer support to anybody affected, NHS mental support can often be restricted to just the mother. This leaves fathers and partners who are also deeply affected to cope alone. Support must be and should be whole family support. Peeps also emphasise the significant gaps in long-term support, especially for families whose children survive but face lifelong severe disabilities. They are left to navigate complex needs for years after the initial intensive care ends. The trauma is compounded for families whose event may have been avoidable. A study taking place in Finland between 2005 and 2024 suggested that 1/5 of all such cases could have been prevented, or at least could have benefited from preventative measures. This compounds the trauma of affected families and underscores the importance of absolute honesty and systemic learning from our NHS services. Additionally, it is not always recorded consistently in NHS systems or statistics, making it harder to advocate for policy change and obscuring potential disparities in outcomes as we know exist in stillbirths and neonatal deaths. We must listen to brave parents like my constituent and fantastic charities like Peeps. We must ensure that H.I.E is no longer misunderstood or unheard of in conversations about baby loss. And we owe these families recognition, compassionate care, and a commitment to address the lack of consistent data that makes it so hard for them to advocate for change.
Which brings us to the front bench contributions, perhaps in the region of 8